Captain Elaine Summers stood on the bridge of the UEDF flagship Thunderchild, gazing at the stars through the large viewing window. The year was 2157, and humanity had spread to 7 worlds beyond Earth. They had met 4 alien species so far. Most aliens kept their distance from humans. They called Earth a death world, a planet with high gravity, extreme weather, and dangerous animals that made humans unusually strong and tough compared to other beings in the galaxy. The Thunderchild was patrolling the outer edge of human space. It was a routine mission, with no expected problems. Captain Summers checked the ship systems on her screen, then walked around the bridge to check on her crew. "Captain," called Lieutenant Greg Warren from the communication station. His voice was tense. "I'm picking up a strange signal. It's coming in on all frequencies." Elaine walked quickly to his station. "What kind of signal, Lieutenant?" "It seems to be a distress call," said Greg, adjusting some controls. "But it's not human. The computer says it's Malorian." This surprised everyone on the bridge. The Malorians were a peaceful, smart species from the Andromeda arm of the galaxy. They had advanced technology, but were physically weak. They had always avoided humans, afraid of their violent Deathworlder nature. "Put it on the main screen," ordered Elaine. The screen showed a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms and large, frightened eyes. The alien spoke in a high musical language while the ship's computer translated. "This is Ambassador Thelian of the Malorian Concord. Our worlds are under attack by an unknown force. 3 of our core planets have been destroyed. Millions are dead. Our ships cannot stop them. We ask any civilization with military power to help us. Please, we cannot." The message cut off suddenly. "That's all, Captain," said Greg. "It keeps repeating." "Science Officer Martinez, analyze this message," said Elaine. Victor Martinez worked at his station for several minutes. "The message is real, Captain. It was sent 5 days ago from the Malorian home system. There are energy readings in the background that match weapons fire." Elaine frowned. "Send this to UEDF High Command immediately. We need to inform Admiral Bennett." 3 hours later, Elaine joined a video meeting with UEDF leaders. Admiral Olivia Bennett's face looked serious on the screen. "We've confirmed the Malorian distress call is genuine," said Admiral Bennett. "The question is how we should respond." "We should send help," said Elaine immediately. "If someone is attacking peaceful worlds, they might target humans next." "The Malorians have never wanted our help before," said General Frank Peterson. "They think we're too violent and dangerous." "That doesn't matter now," argued Admiral Bennett. "Someone is attacking them, and they've asked for help from anyone who can fight. That's us." The debate continued for an hour. Some leaders worried about starting a war with an unknown enemy. Others felt it was the right thing to help a species in trouble. Finally, Admiral Bennett made the decision. "Captain Summers, return to Earth immediately. We're assembling a response fleet. The Thunderchild will lead it." "Yes, Admiral," said Elaine, feeling both proud and worried. "We'll set course for Earth now." As the Thunderchild turned toward home, Elaine thought about what was coming. Humanity had never fought an interstellar war before, but when someone asked for help, humans answered. "Lieutenant Warren, send a message to the Malorian broadcast coordinates," she said. "Tell them that help is on the way." Greg smiled as he sent the message. "Do you think we'll get there in time, Captain?" Elaine looked at the stars. "I don't know, but I do know this. Whoever is attacking the Malorians is about to learn what happens when you make humans angry." The Thunderchild jumped to faster-than-light speed, racing home to gather the fleet that would answer the aliens' cry for help. 3 weeks passed quickly as the largest human fleet ever created gathered near the Jupiter shipyards. 17 warships floated in space, their hulls gleaming under the distant sun. These ships represented the best military technology humans had built since reaching the stars. Captain Elaine Summers stood on the bridge of the Thunderchild, watching through the main window as the last ships arrived. Her ship would lead this powerful fleet into what might become humanity's first war among the stars. "All ships have reported in, Captain," said Lieutenant Greg Warren from his station. "The fleet is complete." Elaine nodded and looked at the list on her screen. The fleet was impressive. The Thunderchild was the flagship, a Titan-class heavy destroyer with weapons that could crack open a small moon. The Valiant was a stealth ship designed for secret missions, commanded by Alan Reeves, one of Elaine's old friends. The battle carrier Normandy carried 200 fighter ships, led by Wing Commander Diane Kelly, the best pilot in the UEDF. The fleet also had 4 large Ares-class battleships, 6 faster Hermes-class cruisers, and 5 Atlas-class support ships carrying supplies and medical teams. Together, these ships carried over 15,000 people, including 3,000 Marines under Colonel Samuel Ortiz. "This is a lot of firepower," said Science Officer Victor Martinez, standing beside Elaine. "Do you think it will be enough?" "I hope so," said Elaine. "We still don't know what destroyed 3 Milorian worlds. They're more advanced than us in many ways." The ship's communication system beeped, and Lieutenant Warren looked concerned. "Captain, we're receiving a message from the Araxian Confederacy." The Araxians were another alien species known for their proud attitude and advanced technology. They had never been friendly to humans, but they weren't enemies either. Warren put the message on the main screen. An Araxian appeared, tall and thin with gray skin and 6 eyes arranged in a circle on its face. "This is Ambassador Xorlak of the Araxian Confederacy," it said in a flat voice. "We have learned of your plan to send military forces to Milorian space. We strongly advise you to reconsider. These matters do not concern Deathworlders like yourselves. Stay in your own territory where you belong." The message ended abruptly. Elaine frowned. That was strange. Why would the Araxians care if we help the Milorians? "Perhaps they know something about the attackers that we don't," suggested Martinez. Elaine called Admiral Bennett to report the message. The Admiral's face appeared on the screen, looking serious. "We received the same message at UEDF headquarters," said Admiral Bennett. "It makes me think this situation is more complicated than we first believed. But our decision stands. The fleet will proceed as planned." "Understood, Admiral," said Elaine. "We're ready to leave." After ending the call, Elaine addressed the ship's communication system, which was connected to all 17 ships in the fleet. "This is Captain Summers to all ships. Our mission is clear. The Milorians asked for help, and we will answer. We don't know exactly what we're facing, but we know innocent lives are at risk. Each ship has its orders. We will travel through the Gamma portal to reach Milorian space, then proceed to their home system." She paused, then added, "Some species call us violent because we evolved on a harsh world. They call us Deathworlders as an insult, but today we use our strength to protect others. Prepare for departure in 30 minutes. Summers out." As the fleet made final preparations, Colonel Ortiz arrived on the bridge. "My Marines are ready, Captain. Just point us at the enemy." Elaine nodded. "Let's hope the Milorians have held out long enough for us to help them." 30 minutes later, the human fleet moved away from Jupiter, 17 powerful warships flying in perfect formation. They accelerated toward the Gamma portal, the fastest way to reach Milorian space. Whatever waited on the other side, the Deathworlders were ready to fight. The journey through 3 star systems took the human fleet 8 days. When they finally arrived in Milorian space, a terrible sight greeted them. The 5th planet of the system, once a thriving Milorian colony, was now surrounded by floating pieces of metal and rock. The planet itself had deep, glowing cracks across its surface. "Life signs?" asked Captain Elaine Summers, her voice quiet as she stared at the ruined world. Science Officer Victor Martinez checked his screens. "None on the planet, Captain. But I am detecting some weak signals from a damaged space station nearby." Elaine turned to communications. "Lieutenant Warren, send a message to all ships. Tell Commander Reeves to take the Valiant closer to that station. We need to know if there are survivors. The Valiant, the fleet's stealth reconnaissance vessel, broke formation and moved toward the damaged station. It was a small, sleek ship designed for speed and secrecy rather than combat. "Captain," said Commander Alan Reeves over the communication channel, "we're detecting approximately 50 life forms on that station. They appear to be Malorians, but their life signs are weak." Elaine made her decision quickly. "Prepare a rescue team. Dr. Lisa Peterson will lead the medical staff. Colonel Ortiz, send a squad of Marines for protection." Within 30 minutes, 3 shuttles launched from the Thunderchild toward the Malorian station. Dr. Peterson, the ship's chief medical officer, led the team. She was a calm woman with years of experience treating injuries in space. When the shuttles docked with the station, the humans found scenes of destruction inside. Walls were torn open, and many sections had no air. The Marines, in their sealed armor suits, moved carefully through the damaged corridors. "Life signs are stronger this way," said Dr. Peterson, following their scanner. The team moved deeper into the station, passing bodies of dead Malorians. Finally, they reached a large room where emergency force fields kept the air inside. Dozens of injured Malorians lay on the floor or against walls. They were slender beings with blue skin, 4 arms, and large eyes. When they saw the humans enter, many shrank back in fear. One Malorian stepped forward shakily. "I am Ambassador Thelian," he said in a weak voice. The humans' translation devices converted his musical language. "You received our message." "Yes," said Dr. Peterson. "We're here to help. I'm a doctor." The Malorians looked confused and frightened. One whispered, "Deathworlders," with clear fear. "We won't harm you," Dr. Peterson assured them. "We're here because you asked for help." As the medical team began treating the injured aliens, Ambassador Thelian spoke with Colonel Jack Ortiz. "The harvesters came without warning," he explained. "They destroyed 3 of our central worlds, then moved to our colonies. Their ships are enormous, and our weapons could not harm them." "The harvesters?" asked Colonel Ortiz. "Who are they?" "We thought they were only stories to frighten children," said Thelian. "Ancient legends speak of beings who harvest resources and living creatures from planets they visit. No one had seen them for thousands of years, until now." While they talked, Dr. Peterson treated a young Malorian with a deep cut on one of his 4 arms. When she applied a medicine that would numb the pain, the Malorian seemed shocked. "You feel no pain from this substance?" the Malorian asked. "It would sting a human slightly," she explained. The Malorians began talking among themselves, clearly amazed at human resilience. Ambassador Thelian was about to say more when alarms began to sound throughout the station. The Marine rushed into the room. "Colonel, Captain Summers is ordering immediate evacuation. 3 massive ships just appeared at the edge of the system. They match no known design." Dr. Peterson looked at Thelian. "The harvesters." The ambassador's large eyes widened with terror. "Yes, they have returned. We must leave now." "Get everyone to the shuttles," ordered Colonel Ortiz. "Move." As they rushed the injured Malorians toward the human shuttles, Dr. Peterson glanced out a viewport. In the distance, she could see 3 huge dark shapes moving toward the human fleet. The first battle between humans and the mysterious harvesters was about to begin. The human fleet moved quickly to protect the damaged station. Captain Elaine Summers organized her ships into a defensive formation, with the 4 large Ares-class battleships in front. "All ships, maintain formation," she ordered. "Prepare all weapons but do not fire until I give the command." The 3 harvester vessels were unlike anything humans had seen before. They were huge, at least 5 times larger than the biggest human battleship. Their dark hulls seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved slowly but steadily toward the human fleet. "Any response to our communications?" Elaine asked Lieutenant Greg Warren. "No, Captain. We've tried all frequencies and languages in our database. They're not answering." Science Officer Victor Martinez studied his screens. Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy readings from those ships. Their technology is far beyond our understanding. Before Elaine could respond, bright beams of purple energy shot out from the lead harvester ship. The beams cut through space and hit the cruiser Defiant. The ship's shields flared bright blue for a moment, then failed completely. The energy beams continued through, cutting deep into the ship's hull. "The Defiant is reporting heavy damage," shouted Lieutenant Warren. "They've lost engines and weapons. Life support is failing. Tell the Atlas-class support ships to begin evacuation of the Defiant," ordered Elaine. "All ships, open fire. Target the lead harvester vessel." The human fleet responded with everything they had. Railguns fired metal projectiles at incredible speeds. Missiles streaked across space, leaving trails of light. Energy weapons discharged beams of concentrated power. Most of the attacks seemed to have little effect on the harvester ships. Their shields absorbed or deflected the human weapons. "This isn't working," muttered Elaine. "We need a new approach." On the battle carrier Normandy, Wing Commander Diane Kelly prepared her fighters for launch. "All pilots to your ships," she ordered over the intercom. "We're going in." 200 small, fast fighter ships launched from the Normandy. They were much quicker and more maneuverable than the huge harvester vessels. "Target their weapon ports," Kelly instructed her pilots. "Look for any weak points in their shields." The fighters swarmed around the harvester ships, firing precisely at spots where the alien shields seemed weaker. The harvesters tried to shoot them down, but the human pilots were too quick, dodging the slow but powerful energy beams. On the Thunderchild, Lieutenant Warren noticed something important. "Captain, I think I see a pattern in their shield modulation. It changes every 42 seconds. There's a brief moment when it's shifting where it might be weaker." "Good work," said Elaine. "Transmit that information to all ships. Prepare main cannons to fire on my mark." The Thunderchild shook violently as it was struck by a harvester weapon. Alarms blared across the bridge. "Damage report," called Elaine, holding onto her chair. "Shields at 30%. Hull breach on decks 5 through 8. Those sections have been sealed," reported an officer. Elaine watched her screen as the countdown reached 0. "Fire main cannons now." The Thunderchild's most powerful weapons discharge, along with similar weapons from other ships in the fleet. All struck the lead harvester vessel at exactly the same moment, catching it during its shield transition. The combined firepower penetrated the alien ship's defenses. Explosions rippled across its massive hull. Secondary blasts followed as something critical was hit inside. The harvester ship began to break apart. "We got one," shouted someone on the bridge. The remaining 2 harvester ships suddenly changed course. They moved away from the human fleet, retreating to a safer distance. "They're launching something," reported Science Officer Martinez. "Small pods, hundreds of them. They're heading toward the nearby Milorian colony world." Colonel Samuel Ortiz, who had just returned from the rescue mission, stepped forward. "Those are landing craft. They're sending forces to the planet." "Prepare your Marines, Colonel," said Captain Summers. "We need to stop whatever they're doing down there." As the human fleet regrouped, Engineering Chief Eric Palmer began organizing repair teams. The battle in space had been won, for now, but the fight was far from over. The war against the harvesters had just begun. While the fleet worked on repairs, Colonel Samuel Ortiz prepared 1,200 Marines for ground combat. They gathered in the launching bay of the Thunderchild, checking weapons and armor. These men and women had trained for years, but this would be their first real battle against an alien enemy. "Listen up," Colonel Ortiz called to his troops. "Our mission is to land on Helios IV and stop whatever the harvesters are doing down there. This is a Milorian colony with about 50,000 civilians. Our job is to protect them." The Marines loaded into 20 dropships. These small, armored vessels would carry them through the planet's atmosphere to the surface. Colonel Ortiz joined the lead ship with 50 of his best soldiers. "All dropships, prepare for launch," he ordered over the radio. Captain Elaine Summers spoke to him from the bridge. "Good luck, Colonel. We'll provide cover fire from orbit, get our people down safely, and stop those harvesters." The dropships launched from the Thunderchild, flying in tight formation toward the blue-green planet below. As they entered the atmosphere, harvester defense systems opened fire. Bright energy beams shot up from the surface. "Evasive maneuvers," shouted Ortiz. The pilots twisted and turned, trying to avoid the enemy fire. Most succeeded, but 2 dropships were hit. They exploded in bright flashes, taking 60 Marines with them. "Stay focused," Ortiz told his shaken troops. "We're almost there." The remaining dropships landed in a forest clearing about 2 miles from the main Milorian city. The Marines deployed quickly, setting up a defensive perimeter. "First and second squads with me," ordered Ortiz. "The rest secure this landing zone." The colonel led 300 Marines toward the city. They moved quietly through the forest, weapons ready. Soon they reached the edge of the trees and saw the city. It was a beautiful place with tall, curved buildings that looked like they had grown naturally from the ground. But now harvester drones moved through the streets. They were tall, mechanical beings walking on 2 legs. They were gathering Milorian civilians and forcing them into groups. "What are they doing?" whispered Sergeant Lucy Bell, watching through binoculars. "Looks like they're collecting them," replied Ortiz, just like Ambassador Thelian said. The Marines spread out along the edge of the forest. Ortiz gave the order, "Target the drones. Fire on my mark." Hundreds of rifles fired at once. Many harvester drones fell, but others quickly turned and fired back. Their weapons shot beams of energy similar to their ships. 3 Marines were hit and disappeared completely, leaving nothing behind. "Those weapons completely disintegrate anything they hit," said Private Carla Rodriguez, sounding shocked. The battle moved into the city streets. The Marines used buildings for cover as they fought the drones. They discovered the drones were tough, but not invincible. Their metal bodies could be damaged by enough gunfire. Private Rodriguez made an important discovery when her communication device malfunctioned. It released a strong electromagnetic pulse that made nearby drones freeze. "Colonel," she called, "they're vulnerable to EMPs." This information spread quickly. The Marines modified some of their equipment to create electromagnetic pulses. This gave them a new weapon against the drones. As they pushed deeper into the city, they found a small group of Milorians fighting back against the harvesters. Their leader was a female scientist named Vereen. "You came to help us," she said, her large eyes showing surprise. "The Deathworlders actually came." "We said we would," replied Ortiz. "What can you tell us about what the harvesters are doing?" Vereen pointed to a large building in the center of the city. "They've taken over our main research center. They're processing our people there, taking them inside, but no one comes out." Ortiz looked at the building through his binoculars. Harvester drones were entering with groups of captured Milorians. "That's our target," he said. "We need to get in there and stop whatever they're doing." He turned to his troops. "Prepare to move out. We're going to free those people and show these harvesters what happens when you mess with the planets under human protection." The Marines checked their weapons and moved forward, ready for the hardest part of their mission. Behind them, more dropships were landing with reinforcements. The battle for Helios Ivy had only just begun. News of the human victory against the harvester ship spread quickly across the galaxy. Within days, messages arrived from 12 alien species that had previously kept their distance from humans. Even the Araxians, who had warned humans to stay away, now wanted to talk. A meeting was arranged at the neutral space station Concordia. Captain Elaine Summers represented humanity, along with Ambassador Thelian speaking for the Milorians. Representatives from many species gathered in the large conference room. "We have confirmed that the harvesters attacked and destroyed 3 Milorian core worlds and damaged 2 colony planets," said Elaine, standing before the gathered aliens. "Our fleet managed to destroy 1 harvester vessel, but 2 escaped. On the ground, our Marines are still fighting to free Milorian civilians." She showed images of the battle and the harvester technology. Many aliens whispered among themselves, clearly shocked by what they saw. "We propose forming a unified defense coalition," continued Elaine. "The Harvesters are a threat to all of us. Together, we might have a chance to stop them." An Araxian representative named Sorlak stood up. He was tall with gray skin and 6 eyes arranged in a circle on his face. "Why should we trust Deathworlders with leading such a coalition? Your kind are naturally violent and unpredictable." Several other aliens nodded in agreement. Elaine was about to respond when Sorlak continued, his voice becoming quieter. "But perhaps that is exactly what we need now." This surprised everyone. The Araxian looked uncomfortable as he spoke again. "I must confess something that will shock this gathering. The Araxian Confederacy has known about the Harvesters for centuries." The room erupted with angry shouts and questions. Ambassador Thelian rose to his feet, all 4 of his arms trembling with emotion. "You knew. While my people were being slaughtered, you knew of this threat." Sorlak lowered all 6 of his eyes. "We did not just know of them. We directed them away from our space, toward what we considered less important species." More angry shouts filled the room. Several delegations threatened to leave the meeting. "You sacrificed others to save yourselves," said Captain Summers, her voice cutting through the noise. The room fell silent as she continued. "But now is not the time for blame. The Harvesters are still out there. They destroyed Malorian worlds. They could target any of your planets next. We need to stand together." She walked to the center of the room and looked at the gathered aliens. "You call us Deathworlders like it's an insult. Yes, we evolved on a planet with high gravity, extreme weather, and dangerous animals. These things made us strong. We can use that strength to protect others." Elaine pointed to the images of the battle still displayed on the large screen. The Harvesters didn't expect resistance. They didn't expect a species to fight back and win. But we did, and we can do it again, together. One by one, the alien representatives began to nod. Even Sorlak seemed to agree. Meanwhile, on the Thunderchild, Dr. Lisa Peterson and Malorian scientist Vereen were studying data recovered from the planet. They had connected their computers to the ship's main system. "I think I have found something," said Vereen, her large eyes wide with concern. "Look at this genetic analysis." Dr. Peterson studied the screen. "This can't be right. The Harvesters are taking genetic material from different species and combining them." "Yes," said Vereen. "And these neural patterns they're collecting. It's like they're copying minds. They're creating some kind of hybrid beings," whispered Dr. Peterson. "But why?" The answer came when they decoded more of the data. The doctor's face went pale as she read the final report. "We need to tell Captain Summers immediately," she said. "The Harvesters aren't just collecting samples. They're building weapons, biological weapons made from the species they conquer. And according to this, they're preparing for a full invasion of the galaxy's core worlds." Back at the Concordia station, Elaine's communicator beeped with an urgent message from the Thunderchild. The real war was just beginning. The human fleet, now repaired and reinforced with ships from Earth, gathered at the edge of Malorian space. They were joined by vessels from 5 alien species, including the small group of Araxian ships. This combined force prepared for a counterattack against the Harvesters. Intelligence from captured data suggested the Harvesters operated from a massive station at the edge of the galaxy. Captain Elaine Summers studied the reports on the bridge of the Thunderchild. "The station is their central base," she explained to her officers. "If we can destroy it, we might stop their invasion plans." But tension grew between the allied species as they prepared. On the main deck of the Thunderchild, an argument broke out between Malorian and Araxian crew members. "Your people knew the Harvesters were coming," accused a Malorian engineer. "You let them destroy our worlds." The Araxian technician lowered all 6 eyes. "We were afraid. Our leaders thought they could save our species by sacrificing others." "Stop this now," ordered Lieutenant Greg Warren, stepping between them. "We need to work together." Throughout the fleet, similar problems appeared. The different alien ships used technologies that were never designed to work together. Their communication systems were incompatible, and their tactics conflicted. Lieutenant Warren and Science Officer Victor Martinez worked day and night to solve these problems. They created new translation programs and signal converters to help the Allied ships communicate. "It's working," said Martinez, watching the test signals move between ships. "Not perfect, but good enough for battle." Meanwhile, Dr. Lisa Peterson continued studying the harvester data with Verine's help. They made an important discovery. The harvesters communicate through a kind of hive mind, explained Dr. Peterson to Captain Summers. They share thoughts and information instantly across great distances. "Could we use that against them?" asked Elaine. "Maybe," said Dr. Peterson. "Verine and I have been working on a neural disruptor. It might confuse their communication network." As they talked, a fleet of ships appeared from faster-than-light travel. It was Admiral Olivia Bennett with the second human fleet from Earth. 42 more warships joined the Alliance, bringing the total human strength to 59 vessels. With 26 Allied alien ships, they formed the largest coalition fleet in known galactic history. Admiral Bennett transferred to the Thunderchild for a meeting with all fleet commanders. The ship's conference room was crowded with humans and aliens of many species. "Our target is the Harvester base station," said Admiral Bennett, pointing to a hologram showing a massive structure orbiting a dying star. "According to our intelligence, this is where they process the materials and biological samples they collect." She outlined the battle plan. The human ships would lead the attack on the station's outer defenses. A small team would board the station to plant the neural disruptor device. The Araxian and other alien vessels would protect the fleet's flanks. After the meeting, Captain Summers walked through the ship, checking on preparations. She found Dr. Peterson making final adjustments to the neural disruptor. "Will it work?" asked Elaine. "In theory," said Dr. Peterson, "but we won't know until we try it." Later that evening, Elaine stood on the observation deck, looking out at the gathered fleet. Ships of many designs floated in space, their lights shining against the darkness. She activated the ship-wide communication system. Her voice reached every vessel in the coalition fleet. "This is Captain Summers. Tomorrow we travel to Harvester space. We go to war not because we seek glory or conquest, but because when the innocent cried out for help, humanity answered." She looked at the stars before continuing. "Some call us Deathworlders. Yes, Earth made us strong. We evolved on a harsh world with high gravity and dangerous creatures. But strength without compassion is meaningless. Today, we use our strength to protect others." The final preparations continued through the night. In the morning, the massive fleet moved into formation. Admiral Bennett gave the order, and they jumped to faster-than-light speed, heading toward the Harvester base and the greatest battle any of them had ever faced. The final battle took place near a dying star. The coalition fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel to find not 3 or 4 Harvester ships, but dozens. In the center floated a massive structure, the Harvester base station. It was as large as a small moon, with strange protrusions and glowing sections across its surface. All ships, battle formation, ordered Admiral Bennett from her command ship. "Human vessels will take point in sectors 1 and 2. Araxian and Allied ships cover the flanks." Captain Elaine Summers directed the Thunderchild into position. "Shields at maximum. Prepare all weapons." The battle began with a fury unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. The Harvester ships launched energy beams at the coalition fleet. The human ships took the brunt of the attack, their strong shields holding against the assault. "Return fire," ordered Elaine. "All batteries." The human fleet responded with railguns, missiles, and energy weapons. The Araxian ships proved surprisingly effective in battle. Their sleek vessels darted between the larger Harvester ships, firing precise shots at weak points. 2 human battleships exploded under concentrated Harvester fire. Several Allied vessels were also destroyed, but the coalition fleet pressed forward, moving closer to the base station. While the space battle raged, a strike team prepared for their mission. Commander Alan Reeves led the team from the stealth ship Valiant. Colonel Samuel Ortiz and his best Marines joined them, along with special forces from the Malorian and Araxian militaries. "Our target is the control hub at the center of the station," said Commander Reeves, showing a holographic map. "We need to place Dr. Peterson's neural disruptor device there." Their ships approached the station from below, using the chaos of the battle as cover. They docked at a maintenance port and cut their way inside. The strike team moved through dark corridors, fighting automated defense systems. Strange biological constructs attacked them, creatures that seemed made from parts of different species. "The hybrids," said Colonel Ortiz, "just like Dr. Peterson warned us." The team pushed deeper into the station. Private Carla Rodriguez took point, using her electromagnetic pulse device to disable security systems. When they were ambushed by a group of advanced hybrid troops, she stayed behind to hold them off. "Keep going," she said to Colonel Ortiz. "I'll buy you time." In space, the battle reached its peak. The Thunderchill took heavy damage, with fires on 3 decks and its main engines failing. "Hull breach on Deck 7, reported Lieutenant Warren. "Emergency bulkheads activated." Captain Summers held onto her chair as the ship shook violently. "Keep firing. We need to give the strike team more time." The strike team finally reached the central control hub. It was a vast chamber filled with strange technology and pulsing organic material. Commander Reeves set up the neural disruptor device, while Colonel Ortiz and the others defended against waves of harvester drones. "Activating now," said Commander Reeves, starting the device. The effect was immediate but unexpected. Instead of shutting down, the harvester ships and drones became erratic and confused. Strange signals filled all communication channels. On the Thunderchild's bridge, Science Officer Martinez studied the readings with amazement. "Captain, I'm detecting an artificial intelligence signal. The harvesters, they're not a species. They're drones controlled by an ancient eye." The disrupted AI sent a final message that was translated by the ship's computers. "Preservation protocol failed. Catalog incomplete. Species survival probability decreasing." "They were trying to preserve life," said Elaine in shock, "in their own twisted way." With the controlling intelligence disrupted, Captain Summers ordered a final assault. All remaining coalition ships concentrated fire on the station's power core. The massive structure exploded in a blinding flash. The remaining harvester ships became dormant, floating lifeless in space. 2 weeks later, representatives from 17 species gathered on the repaired Thunderchild. They signed an agreement establishing the Galactic Defense Concordat, with humans taking a leading role. Admiral Bennett presented medals to the Allied commanders, including Araxian Captain Draz. "We misjudged your kind," admitted Draz. "What we saw as brutality was actually the strength to protect others." That evening, Captain Summers stood alone on the observation deck, watching the stars. Lieutenant Warren joined her, his face serious. "Captain, we've detected signals from beyond the galactic rim. They match harvester patterns, but they're fainter, and there are more of them." They were just scouts, Elaine realized. The real test is still coming. She activated her communication device. "This is Captain Summers to all ships. The Deathworlders stand ready. Let them come."